Hey, what's up everyone? I made the journey a couple hours north today to this hidden little lake in Minnesota. It's kind of tough to get to. I actually have to wheel my kayak down a little path through the woods here. So it's my kind of lake. I've got the kayak all loaded up and ready to go. It's sitting on the cart. I have fished this lake a couple of times in the past, and both times I did really well with the topwater frog. So I'm hoping to do the same thing today. Now before I head down to the water, I want to show you guys a couple of modifications I like to do to these hollow body frogs to help improve my hookup ratio. I know a lot of people either love the frog or they hate the frog. I think a big reason why people dislike the frog is because they have a hard time hooking into fish with them. So up here in Minnesota, I like the 55 size. That's 2 1/4 inch or 5/8 ounce. I like the green and yellow color. That's kind of your standard leopard frog pattern. And this particular one bears the closest resemblance to the leopard frogs that we actually have here in Minnesota. So there's two things I like to do to these. The first thing I like to do is trim about, a half an inch or so off of those legs. I'll just trim those into the bed of my truck here. And what that does is it makes that frog a little bit more compact of a target. It'll make it a little bit less likely that the fish is going to come up and just grab those legs. Now the second thing I like to do, and I usually do this either at home or at my vehicle because I generally don't carry a vice grip with me out in the kayak. But what I like to do here is I like to bend these hooks out just a little bit so that you have about a millimeter gap between that hook point and the frog body. And to do that, you can see that little opening right about there between the hook and the frog. I'll grab it right about there with that vice grip and just squeeze it enough to straighten it out a little bit to create that gap. So let's see if I can do this here on camera. Just going to pinch it a little bit. And there we go. That's about perfect. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but hopefully you'll get the idea. And you can see the angle these hooks come out at. I'm trying to grab that perpendicular to that angle with the vice grip. And I just pinch it a little bit to make that gap there. Now the frog's not going to be quite as weedless as it was before, but since I started doing those two things, I've seen my hookup ratio go from about 20% to probably 80 or 90% with the frog. So if you're having a tough time hooking into fish with one, try bending out those hooks a little bit and see if you notice an improvement in your hookup ratio. I'm going to get that frog tied on and let's head on down to the lake. Now here's why I made that drive a couple hours north today. It is absolutely beautiful out here. I've caught some real nice bass on this lake too, both times I've been out here, so hopefully we can do the same today. I'm going to get the kayak off the cart and we'll hit the water and see if we can find them. Wow, this sure does look nice, doesn't it? I'll start working that outer edge first and work my way inward. Oh, look at that. The very first cast, I got a little dink. But look at that though. I'm batting 1,000 on my hookup ratio. Even with a little guy like that. See, I catch some small fish every now and then. Little guy. I'm gonna keep picking through them. Eventually we'll get that big bite. Something a little over there nibbling at it. School of bluegills, maybe? That one wasn't a bluegill. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. That's the one I was looking for. Right there. Oh, you come here. Look at that bass. Wow. Oh, he surprised me. I had a bunch of bluegill chasing that frog, nipping at it, and all of a sudden Mr. Bass came and said hello. Wow, that is a nice one. Those bluegill chasing the frog probably actually helped get his attention there. Yeah, we had to weed through a few dinks, but that is definitely a quality fish right there. Oh, awesome. On the frog too, man, it don't get much better than that. I had to do a quick retie on my frog. My line was starting to get a little bit scuffed up there. Finally, we found a nice fish willing to hit that frog though. I don't know what it is about these beaver lodges, but they always seem to be holding fish. It must be all the sticks and logs scattered around them. And I have had to work my way through my fair share of dinks out here today. But I tell you what, I sure am enjoying the scenery. It is absolutely gorgeous out here. And you know what? Persistence pays off. Finally, we found that nice one over here. I'm gonna keep working my way along. We'll keep throwing that frog. We'll see if we can find another one like that. Oh, pocket right there. Looks fishy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's another nice one. Nice. Not quite as big as that last one, but that is another quality fish. Seems like every time I upload a frog fishing video, people ask whether I like to wait to set the hook. And that right there pretty much answers that question. When they come up and hit that frog, they inhale it, so no waiting around. I set that hook instantly and try to keep that rod tip high to prevent them from burying themselves into these weeds. That got that one in right there. What was that? I just heard something go splash. Let's chuck one back there. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. I'm just gonna pull myself over to him. Hopefully I still got that fish on. Oh yeah. Look at that. Come here, you. There's another nice one. Hanging out up shallow in this swampy stuff here. Nice. For a moment there, I thought he was a goner. He got himself wrapped down in these lily pads and I had to reel myself over to him. Fortunately, he was still there. Oh, that is awesome. I better get my frog legs fixed up here. So that last fish was a perfect example of why you want a rod and reel combo with some decent power for frog fishing. For one, these frogs generally come with heavy duty hooks, so you need a powerful rod to get a good hook set with those. And second, a lot of times you'll be fishing thick stuff like these lily pads back here, where if a fish grabs that and dives down and gets tangled up, you need enough power to either pull them out of there or reel yourself over to them like I do in my kayak. So the setup I'm using is a 6'8" medium heavy power fast action St. Croix Legend tournament rod. That's about the bare minimum I would use for frog fishing. It definitely wouldn't hurt to go up to a heavy power rod. And the reel I have is a Quantum Smoke SL100 HPT. I've got 40-pound Power Pro Super Slick braid on there. And that seems to work pretty well for me for fishing the frog out of the kayak. Ooh, come on. Give one more swipe there. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Thank you. Woo! Man, look at that one. He missed it once, but he gave me a second shot. Oh, he nailed it right next to the kayak. That was awesome. Nice fish. Whew. Man, that is so awesome when they hit right next to you like that. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, I still got him on. Oh. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get the net for that one. Wow. I think that's probably the biggest fish of the day right there. And I'm almost back to my launch spot over there. Man, that is awesome. He absolutely crushed that frog. Jeez, look at the size of that fish. Oh, that is incredible. Well, I've reached the end of today's adventure. What an awesome day it's been, though. The scenery out here is incredible. And we caught some real nice bass on that topwater frog. You really can't ask for a much better day than that. Well, I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it and maybe learned a thing or two about frog fishing. I'm gonna get the kayak loaded up and hit the road, so thanks for coming along with me again. I'll see you next time.